I'm the Wolfman. I'm an instructor here at Barefoot Bushcraft, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into this video. You know, one of the things that we love to do here at Barefoot Bushcraft, and all of the people who come out to our training classes, we love to do archery. That is the bow and arrow. But we have really sophisticated equipment that we use, you know, compound bows and all sorts of great things. But what if I could show you a quick way to simply take a stick, just like this, and make it into a bow? Look at that. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the quick, dirty, and easy way to turn a stick and a piece of paracord string into a bow. It's fantastic. Now, I certainly wouldn't recommend that if you don't have a lot of experience doing this. Certainly don't participate in archery unless you have some, some training or you have with a qualified instructor. But let's take a look. So the first thing we're going to do is go out into the woods. So one of the first things we need to do is come out to a wooded area, just like I'm in right now, and find a nice tree. I want a tree maybe about half the size of my wrist, and I want to make sure that the tree is straight and has very few little knots or branches or anything on it, because that's just going to get in my way. Now I'm going to use the WJQ308. It has the edge on it here, which has a saw on it. We are going to use that, and we are going to cut down the tree and then start processing it. So now I've got my big, huge tree, and I'll show you. Look how big he is. He's a biggie. And it's green wood, right? Just harvested. The reason that we want to make sure that it's green wood is simply to make sure it has the most amount of flexion in it. So it has a few undesirable parts on it right here. We're just going to cut those off. See, I got a branch right here. We're just going to take the sharp edge of the shovel. We're going to take that off. There we go. And any other little nubs, anything like that that I don't want, just going to take those off. There we are. Just sort of give them a nice rough shape. There. And if you take a look at the bow from this direction, this stick, it already kind of has a natural bend in it, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is cut it to length, which I'm going to cut it to about my height. So probably to right about here, right? And then we're going to start to fashion the bow. It's a pretty quick and simple process if you just want to make like a survival bow or something like that. So I got it all cut to length now, as you can see. My next step is going to be, I'm going to take the bow and I'm just going to start to bend it. Bend, bend, bend. I'm listening for any cracks. I want to make sure that it bends nice. I want to make sure, see, as soon as I push here, I can feel that that's going to be a good spot there. Bend, 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 and I'm listening. I don't hear nothing. All right. So, by the look of that, by the feel of that, everything is going to be awesome for this. The next thing, I'm going to take whatever knife I have, or if you're using a shovel, you can use your WJQ308, and I'm going to make something that is going to hold my paracord onto the top, which is what I'm going to be using as a bowstring for this demonstration, because it's quick and easy and it holds 550 pounds. So let's go ahead here, get those little string holders top and bottom, get her strung. So, I have my one end connected right here, as you can see. I'm going to take my string, I'm going to run it all the way like this, right to the end of the bow. Now, I want my string to stop about one hand width away. So, something like that. See? One hand width. So, what I'm going to do next is put a little bit of a knot in that. Then I can start my first string. I've got my attachment on this end. I got my bowstring here, like I said, a hand or two hands away from the top of my string. I've got my little notch cut out right there, and I have my string. So I'm going to do this here from a distance so you can see basically exactly how it's done. I'm basically going to stick my knee in there just like this, and I'm going to start tugging. Now I want to be really careful when I do this. Don't want to hear any cracking, don't want to hear any snapping. All that, very bad. Got that bad boy stuck on here. It's not an easy job. There we go, just like that. The bow is basically almost ready for use. It's really, really important that when I'm holding this in my hand, and I'm not going to strike my wrist. So, see that? That's not going to strike my wrist. All right, next step. Let's fire an arrow. So I got my bow, and I got my arrow, and I'm going to hold the bow and find a nice spot where I feel is going to be good and comfortable. Usually there's a little knot there. So just like this, so I'm going to take my fingers, I'm going to knock my arrow. I'm going to pull this back first. I don't hear any cracks. I don't hear nothing. So that's good. So let's take this, knock my arrow for the very first time. And then, not bad. Worked out really well. I really love doing archery. I love making the primitive stick bows. It's one of my favorite classes to teach here at Barefoot Bushcraft. So visit us online, and I'm going to put our URL right there. There we are. And of course, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm the Wolfman. Please consider subscribing.